that way.
But there's also, I put on my metrics glasses, all my analytics glasses for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What y'all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Nick Pannone. He's Rob Watson. And today, well, it was a beautiful Thursday morning. That was until I got the news that Shane Bieber is getting dealt to the Toronto Blue Jays. 2 Biebers now in Canada. I don't know if Justin's there right now, but he's from Canada. Back with Andres Jimenez, old friend. We get in return prospect pitcher Cal Steven. Jack, what do we know about this kid? Anything?
Cal Steven went to Mississippi State. Coming into the year, a lot of people thought this kid was going to project to be like a 4 or 5 starter in the MLB because he had really good control, a strong fastball, and a strong changeup, but he hadn't quite developed like that strikeout pitch yet entering 2025. Well, that's what happened in 2025, and this kid's been incredible so far. Just a quick look at the stats, like 2.06 ERA, 91 innings on the mound, already has 99 strikeouts, only 18 walks as well, I believe, which is ridiculous so far. Like, this kid is really in control of his stuff right now. Like, when you're looking at a guy like Shane Bieber, who probably, if he pitched any sort of good baseball to start off this season when he got back off the DL, you weren't getting him back next year, or you weren't getting him back for the price that you thought you were with the player option. So this made total sense to let him walk. You get a really, really solid prospect back in return, and hey, like, who knows? Nick, you hinted at it before the show, like, you could get him back in the offseason.
That's the thing about this, right? And I think there's a little bit of like, and this was always going to be the case. There's going to be a little bit of panic in the streets of Cleveland because Shane Bieber has been traded, Cy Young Award winner. We appreciate his time here, and you see what you get back. A kid that's pitched a lot in A-ball. I think he's made 1 start in Double-A, so it doesn't seem like a great package. That's because this is a rental for Toronto. This is a player that hasn't, doesn't have a lot left on his existing deal in Shane Bieber. He could very well opt out of this thing. So it'll be fascinating to see. I do also want to say, like, Shane was awesome here for our Guardians. To think that he was able to take the baton from Corey Kluber and give us like that 2019 MLB All-Star game when he wins MVP in Cleveland was kind of just like the welcome to the Shane Bieber show. And then just from there on, it was game on, really. So it was just the awesome way to transition from one legend to the next, and I think Shane Bieber will always be loved.
And you can say, like, it's a shortened season, he didn't have a full 30 starts or whatever, COVID, there's no fans in the building, but if you look back at that 2020 season as well, I've never seen a run like what Shane Bieber did that year. Like, that was just ridiculous. His, like, dominance for that 15 or so game stretch, and he was always awesome in the playoffs. Like, I know he was a bit rough in 2020, but like 2022, he was a dog against the Rays and the Yankees. He was awesome when he got the chance. Like, man, it sucks too that, like, who could have known when he made that start against the Mariners, when he had 2 amazing starts to begin 2024, that was the last time we'd ever see the guy?
It's crazy, too. Like, I know so much has been made of that. Like, the fact that, like, how did he look that good? And he was hurt and like, literally pitching through pain, and he looked so good.
Okay, 99 overall.
It's crazy to think that was the last that we've seen of Shane Bieber in a Cleveland uniform. I hope he balls out in Toronto for this last, couple of starts, really, that it'll end up being, and then into the playoffs he goes to a really good team. So I hope he balls out for them and goes and gets a really huge contract somewhere this offseason, because he deserves it. He's been looking for it for a good minute. The Guardians quite literally manipulated and used up every single last ounce of service time that they could get out of Shane Bieber. So I hope he is able to enjoy the fruits of all of that labor and waiting at some point this offseason.
And I think also one thing to note is that Cal Steven did come out of the bullpen a bit in college at the start of his career. So, like, there's a chance that with a guy who's a college pitcher who, even maybe if what he's done so far in single A, I know he's hurt right now, like, if this doesn't totally translate or stick and he is more like a 4 or 5 starter, there's a chance he could be up and in the bullpen next year.
This is from Jensen Lewis. Cal Steven, per press release, was just put on the IL on July 20th with right shoulder impingement after being promoted to Double-A New Hampshire.
So he's hurt.
So yeah, just what I said before, but yeah, like that's the fact is, like, when you have a guy who, that's why you're getting him for Shane Bieber, a rental who has a player option for next year, but a guy who exceeded expectations so far this year, has always been consistent with his main 2 pitches and has good control. So, like, you really can't ask for more for a hurt guy himself.
Well, Stephen Kwan, as of we're speaking right now, is still a member of the Cleveland Guardians. It looks like the Padres and the Dodgers are the two front runners. Shane Bieber, I think, was expected, and some people think Kwan is expected too, but not nearly as expected as Shane Bieber was. I think we could stomach the Shane Bieber trade. Age is a big factor in that. But Stephen Kwan, that one is what will be the knife in our backs if we don't have Stephen Kwan in our Cleveland Guardians next season.
Jack, real quick, what'd you make out of him waving to the crowd yesterday? I know that's something that he does pretty much after every win. You know, like he doesn't do it in losses really, but for wins, like he's standing there in the outfield unless he makes the play to end the game. Like he kind of does that. I found it fascinating. It felt like a good pause and like look out at the crowd before he did it.
You know, there was some guy like Honcho Man 47 in the comments or something who definitely did not like what I thought about it. But yeah, I made no news of it. Like, it's a thing he does. Nick, I think you put it very well when you said he was a little bit more profound in a way. I do think he kind of like took it all in for a second, but who knows? You can make that out of anything.
I'm also told, and I think maybe was this mentioned on the broadcast yesterday? Stephen Kwan's agent flew into Cleveland.
Yeah, and it was mentioned on The Athletic as well by Zach Meisel. Like, and yeah, I mean, anytime the agent's flying into town, you gotta think maybe there's at least something going on, right? He's not flying into town if there's not serious calls about him. But I don't know, guys. I'm gonna say this: if he goes to the San Diego Padres, there is one exact prospect that if we get him, I'm not going to be upset. And I don't think it's going to be because that we can compete with Jose Ramirez in the building. It's because I think that we could maybe find our next Francisco Lindor. And if we get Leo DeVries back in a package, who is the Padres' #1 prospect, he's an 18-year-old hitter who's already going up through the minors strong. Switch hitter, so he hits from both sides of the plate, has 20-plus home run potential to both sides. Grew up as a point guard, so the kid's super duper athletic, runs the bases well, and they project that because of his speed and his arm, he could stick at shortstop. So I don't know if it's him and not Ethan Salas, who I talked about earlier this week as the lead of the package for Stephen Kwan. If you could get DeVries and pry him from the Padres, I'd be really, really excited for 2 or 3 years from now.
It's such a difficult game to play because we don't even know if San Diego would be the landing spot for Kwan. If it is, though, what percentage of a chance would you give this kid to come to Cleveland? Currently in the high A affiliate, the Fort Wayne Tin Caps,
Go Caps.
Is DeVries.
You know, Owen Miller's got his jersey hung there.
What percent chance would you give this to actually materializing? Like if this was the player that was to come back?
You know, with AJ Preller and the Padres, they're looking for guys who are under club control for not a whole ton of money, and not a whole ton of money to the Guardians and Padres is a very different thing. So if you're looking at like paying Stephen Kwan $14 million in arbitration, that's not a whole lot of money to the Padres. They're really looking between Stephen Kwan and Jarren Duran and seeing who they think will help their team longer. I mean, the Red Sox have a ton of depth in their outfield, so I think they're more likely to move on from Duran. They also made a bit of a shocking move moving on from Blaze Jordan yesterday as well. So like, yeah, it really, really cool name. Exactly, Ryan. So I don't know. I honestly think that Kwan makes more sense for them. They love that kind of a profile, obviously with a guy like Luis Arraez being there. I think it's really possible. I think there's a world where maybe we would have to supplement it with, maybe it's like a Lane Thomas, doesn't sound like a supplement, but a guy who you could send out and maybe he sparks it back up. Maybe a bullpen guy like a Hunter Gaddis or a Cade Smith, who if you really do believe that DeVries is that good, which a lot of people in baseball do, and he is that young, like I wouldn't be opposed to it. And maybe even if you could find a way to, if you're going to go Cade Smith, maybe, then if you could get like him and Salas, who's been out since April, but then I'd be like, hey, maybe we're in business for a couple years from now. But they're a lot younger.
Merrill in that outfield too. The Padres.
I mean, it makes sense.
The Padres would be
this.
Going
I mean,
for
he's the exact kind of hitter that the Padres are looking for. It's the exact kind of money that the Padres want. And folks, let's be honest, Stephen Kwan probably wants to be out west. And Leo DeVries, like I'd do it, guys.
Jack, I don't know.
That's Frankie part 2.
San Diego is such a cool city, bro. I'd be hanging out there. You guys thought I spent a lot of time there this winter. Boy,
what will we get from
Kwan
LA
went there? I'd be there in the
trade?
winter and the summer.
What will we get from LA in a trade?
Okay, so the Dodgers made a move and traded for a catcher last night, which makes a lot of people think that Dalton Rushing is more likely to be available for something like a Stephen Kwan type of deal. I think with that, like Dalton Rushing is the start of a package. I don't know exactly what would go with him, but you're probably looking at two more top 15 prospects of the Dodgers at a minimum. But I think Dalton Rushing makes sense because he already is at AAA. He's played in the majors a bit this year. Like his issue, like he wasn't great when he came up to the majors, and he's even struggled a bit in Oklahoma City, their AAA affiliate, because he's kind of been herked and jerked back around from AAA, MLB, like not getting consistent at bats. A catcher is a really tough thing to do, but I think he would make a lot of sense because Nick and I talked about this off air, but Cooper Engel is not an incredible defensive catcher, but he has a bat that you're not going to be able to keep out of the major league lineup for long. He's probably going to go up to AAA at some point later this year and be ready to debut by May or so of next year. Well, when Cooper Engel was at Clemson, rather, he was in the outfield just as much as he was catching for his first couple of years. So you stick him back in the outfield, you find a way to get Dalton Rushing and Cooper Engel's bats in the lineup, and suddenly catcher's not an issue.
Al Pawlowski is a big Dalton Rushing guy.
Is he?
Yeah. And Jack, I don't know.
Al.
I don't know if you mentioned this. If you did, I apologize. I missed it. Cal Stevens, 6'4".
I did not mention that, but yeah,
Tall,
big dude. And
tall
also, as a Game of Thrones fan, like you are yourself, Ryan, I believe. His name is spelled like Khal Drago,
Yeah,
like the
Khal
Khal. So I will be calling him Khal Steven.
One last move. Guardians traded Paul Sewald to the Detroit Tigers for a player to be named later. David Fry.
Bring it around the room, guys.
Yeah,
Bring it around the room
I was
real
gonna
quick.
say, any comment before we?
Yes, that
go to
is
break?
Chris Antonetti, Mike Chernoff, peak laser eyes. You overpay $8 million for a 34-year-old reliever. The Tigers need a reliever. What do? You send your shittiest reliever to your rival. I mean, that would be what if the Browns were like, hey, Pittsburgh, we got this Deshaun Watson guy under contract. Why don't you I mean, that's the same thing, except with a lot of emotional baggage not involved.
All right, let's take a break. When we get back, Jack, you're talking about an Emmanuel Clase conspiracy. Obviously, he's not playing. He's on the exempt list or whatever that's called. I'm not sure what it's called in Major League Baseball, but obviously under investigation. Cleveland Guardians, I just found out, couldn't trade him even if they wanted to because of this investigation. So that's
I don't know if anyone's taking him.
That's a piece. Right, that's a piece of it. We'll talk about that when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome into The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. The MLB trade deadline literally just hours away. I believe it's 6 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Today, the MLB trade deadline. Well, before we dive back into sports, got to tell you about our friends at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the entire state of Ohio. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and they won't be beat on price by any other Ford dealers. Do not let a short drive to Canfield, Ohio prevent you from saving thousands of dollars on your new dream vehicle. You see the Fairway Ford summer sale still going on. Now's your opportunity to make that short drive. Don't let that prevent you from saving thousands. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, lowest pricing, and same hometown level of service. Visit fairwayfordohio.com or scan the QR code. Again, that's fairwayfordohio.com. All right, guys. Emmanuel Clase, not pitching for our Cleveland Guardians. Luis Ortiz, not pitching for our Cleveland Guardians. Could that be
Shane
connected?
Bieber?
Possibly. Shane Bieber also not
pitching for our Cleveland Guardians.
Jack, you might have a conspiracy theory. Is it
This is
possible-
actually Nick's. This is Nick's conspiracy theory, but I would love to talk about it.
Is
with
it
him.
possible that Stephen Vogt and company could have known
They did.
an impending suspension was coming?
Yeah, it's not even a
knew.
conspiracy. It's
It's
just
not a
real.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
So
that
that's
was
like-
my way of wording it.
It's an interesting.
okay.
It's an interesting layer to the story, and like it's kind of weird because it's like not even really a conspiracy. It's more so of a fact. And I kind of put it out there on social media last night because I wonder where people fell on this because the entire situation is so unique and it's so polarizing. Like I've heard a lot of arguments like. You can't even truly say that like a first pitch ball is manipulating the outcome of a game. Like it's maybe manipulating the outcome of an at bat, but to say that it's manipulating the outcome of an entire game could be a bit of a reach. So like you hear all of these arguments and it got me thinking because it is known and The Athletic has reported on a couple of different occasions that the Guardians knew, Stephen Vogt knew that something was going to come down the pipeline and Emmanuel Clase was going to find his way on this commissioner's exempt list. And it almost seemed like, to me, you mentioned yesterday, Jack, that doubleheader that they had just played. Clase pitched in both of those games. So they knew something was going on and something nefarious certainly had taken place in order for that to even be buzzing around the organization. And they continued to pitch him. And I don't really, even still, I put that out there on social last night at NickPado12, and I got a lot of interesting responses to it, but I still don't quite really know what to make of that. Is that a big deal? Is it not a big deal? But they certainly knew that he was going to get cracked for gambling, and they continued to put him on the field. That feels like a significant piece of the story that kind of went underreported.
And especially because I think Rob and Ryan talked about this on Monday's show at length, and I really enjoyed how they were speaking about it. Thanks, the way you can lose I don't know, I give you guys credit. The way you guys talk about losing a locker room is very interesting. I hadn't thought about that yet with it. That's the thing where if they knew that this was going to happen and the locker room already, they knew they weren't going to be happy once they found out about it, what is that sense of the locker room that you kept putting them out there once you know that they might not have the integrity?
Yeah, that's super weird. I wouldn't want to play for the team anymore. That's just me personally.
If they kept putting him out there, right?
Yeah, because it's what? I get trying to get your money's worth out of the guy, but regardless, it's saying you miss a free throw on purpose in basketball, it's just 1 point, and it's not equivalent to throwing one ball. But every time you throw a ball, that was a chance you had to throw a strike. So it's regardless of how little it may be, you're increasing the other team's odds of doing something good and doing that on purpose. And then if the team and the officials know that he's doing that and you're saying, we're going to keep playing him anyway, and I'm like Jose Ramirez and I'm out there busting my tail every day trying to do everything to backpack and carry this team, or even whoever, Nolan Jones or any other pitcher trying to do their stuff, bro, I'm looking at everyone is this even a serious thing? We're supposed to be making this push. We're supposed to be a great, competent organization, and it's we just don't care at all.
Once Luis Ortiz, the news came out, and that was before we knew there's a deeper level to it, obviously. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my immediate thought was, even if he gets reinstated and is allowed to play, you cut that dude. I don't care. Whatever you can for him. To have him come back into the locker room, the message that sends, I thought absolutely not. You can't have that. But this is interesting with Clase. I wonder, because obviously you're not communicating with the people who you're maybe inside betting with while the game's happening. So I wonder, was there a code hey, listen, if I go in this game, because Emmanuel Clase doesn't pitch every day, obviously, because it's a closer. If it's a 3-run or more lead, if it's a 4-run or more lead, that's when I want you to hammer the ball.
Well, here's the thing also that I want to talk about.
When it was 2-1,
right?
I don't know.
And here's my conspiracies online. I have seen conspiracies online, and this is where things would get really messy. And I know, kind of half jokingly, the term RICO had been thrown around when talking about the investigation that's going to come of this federally. Because this is a federal investigation now. You had 2 people that really committed fraud, if what was alleged is actually true. All to say, there has been some conspiracy online, completely unfounded, that could there have been a middleman? Could there have been somebody in the organization communicating with these outside people that were putting these big bets on the line? It would have to be somebody tremendously close to the team, somebody potentially in the dugout or in the bullpen with their phone on them, that they would be able to send text messages and be okay, the first pitch, when we get back from commercial break here, the first pitch is going to be a ball.
No, here's the thing too, but seriously though, because if you look at, but Luis Ortiz theoretically, let's say that there was no one involved, there's no middleman, right? Let's say I'm Luis Ortiz and Ryan is my friend, right? Who's going to be doing the betting for it. I can be okay, you know what? I'm probably going to throw at least 5 innings today. I'm Luis Ortiz. I have a 3.78 ERA in the major leagues. Okay, Ryan, in the 3rd inning, the first pitch, that's when I'm going to throw the ball. There's no way to know. There are days where it's very likely, even if we're down 7-1, we need to get Clase work. You can say, okay, Emmanuel, you're probably going to go today. Yeah. Or, hey, maybe you're going to win today. He's probably going to go. But, you can never know for sure Emmanuel Clase is going to go, or what the score is going to be, or when he's going to come in, or what guys are going to be on base. And, can you merit coming in and throwing a ball immediately if the base is loaded, even if that was the plan? Yeah. How can you...
It had to have been...
He wouldn't be able to. He'd have to know during the game, right?
It's either there was a middleman, which is possible, or the fact that there was some type of communication where this is if this X scenario happens, that's when you bet. But if
and there's not some guy in the second row yawning every single time, to like signal.
If he was willing to go out there and throw a ball first pitch with a 1-run lead, that's when it gets it's messed up regardless. Yeah. But if you're willing to do that when you only have a 1-run lead and you're willing to go down 1-0 on a batter like that, I mean, that's just
I
horrible.
also think you leave a lot up to like. Yep. I hate the middleman theory, right? Because
I do too. It gets greasy.
Now that you've brought it, like the way he explained it, I think that's the most likely.
Because here's the issue with Ryan's theory, right? Is it leaves a lot up to chance.
Yeah,
like say it's we've got to have more than a 3-run lead. It's got to be in the 3rd inning exactly. Like the chance that the guy remembers to put in the bet and then Ortiz remembers to spike the first pitch. Like I feel like there's just too much at play there, like too many variables.
Well, even like starter, I can get it a little bit because like you can even like second inning first pitch. But Clase,
do it for Luis than it would.
Clase, you don't know when he's going to come in. You don't know what days he's going to pitch most of the time. You don't know the situation he's going to come in. Like, I mean, I'm not saying there's a guy in a pink hat in the 3rd row who switches it out for a green hat when he's supposed to do it. But like, I don't know. Maybe there is. Yeah. Maybe there is.
I mean, hell, we've seen crazier shit happen. Like, imagine somebody...
I mean, actually, no. We've seen a lot of crazy shit happen. If this happened, this would be wild.
Imagine if you found something like that. Like, you go back and watch the film, and there's the same character behind home plate, sitting behind, like, the stands behind home plate, and you notice he switches every inning, X inning, he switches something like a hat. I mean, we've seen crazy...
Or what a good movie plot.
What if, like, a guy, like, just... You know those, like... disgusting little like margarita bottle things they do. Like if a guy comes down the aisle with one of those in the 4th inning because no one gets that shit, that would be like a signal.
A giant sign.
Yeah.
Throw a ball.
I don't know, man. Some of those, I went back and I just looked at the thread. He did some of those spikes with tie games, bro. Like this is just, it's overall just it's horrendous, man. It's just I think there is someone involved, and that'll be terrible if they find out it was someone working for the team.
It sucks, guys, too, because I don't know if we're sitting here talking about our memories of Shane Bieber this morning. You know, if this doesn't happen, I think Shane Bieber's probably still a Cleveland Guardian if this doesn't happen this week.
All right, let's take a break. When we get back, Hall of Fame game coming along. Football is officially back. Trey Lance versus Hendon Hooker. I don't care who it is. It could be me versus Rob. Everybody's tuning in because football's back, baby. We'll talk about that when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Nick Pedone. He's Rob Watson. And we're presented, like we are every single day, by our friends at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, Classic Light Lager, as well as Classic Lime. You see right above me, those delicious cold cans. It's beer-flavored beer. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want it to taste. Scan that QR code now or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that's drinkgaragebeer.com. Well, the season of garage beer, it's all the time, but especially here for football season. The Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, 8 p.m. kickoff tonight. The Chargers take on the Detroit Lions. Trey Lance versus Hendon Hooker. There's a lot of storylines here. We get to see and this is preseason. I understand that. A lot of starters aren't going to be playing, but it's the first look at the Lions offense post Ben Johnson. We get a look at guys like Trey Harris for the Los Angeles Chargers, Omarion Hampton. I'm interested. This is going to be fun, and I'm just so excited that football's back.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best time of the year because I kind of equate it in a way to, you know how like the first like 3 or 4 times that they put out like the really shitty teams on Thursday Night Football, like everyone's still super excited and talks about their bets all day long. Then there's like the one really, really bad Thursday night game, like week 6, where everyone's like, all right, we can cool on talking about Thursday night every single week. Like, we still bet on it, obviously, but like this is how the Hall of Fame game is. Like I get so excited and I love the first quarter, even the second quarter too. Then they just get to the guys never heard of before and I just lose interest.
No, but there's been some Hall of Fame games where some interesting stuff happens. I always like to see it at the end, especially in preseason football, a nationally televised one like this. I want it to somehow be a close game at the end because I want to see the fourth string guy go in and have to like lead just this like 70-yard drive to get into field goal range against the other fourth stringers. And I just love football, man. You want to see interesting stuff happen. You want to see competitive football regardless of who's out there. They're all so close.
I think Fat Darrell Revis is my favorite memory.
With no guards on tonight too, and like the deadline will be 2 hours expired. Like everything that would have happened has already happened. Like look at it is literally like the gray outside.
I woke up
like,
today, Nick,
it's
and
Hall of Fame game.
It felt like fall.
I was going to say that
I
too.
walked outside. That was my first thought. I was like,
It was
this
like
is fall.
football.
There was I walked in and there was no one to say it to because I walked in by myself and I'm lonely. And I was like I looked at the weather when I was driving in on 90 and I was like, they're both getting traded today. Like I just knew off the rain. Like like Quan, Bieber,
Like,
they're gone.
This is Myles Garrett gets 4 sacks on Joe Burrow weather. Like it's just the type of day it is, man. It's so much better. I mean, I'm done with the baseball team. I tried. I really tried, bro.
Poor Rob.
But it's over.
Let's talk about that for a second. Rob,
Getting into it on this season.
A couple of months ago, Rob Watson sat here on the show and explained this was the year he was really getting into baseball. He didn't go to many games. He's been to a few this year, and we're talking about
We might need to save the season. We might need to save the
we're
season.
like, what a year to get into baseball, and this was before any of this started to happen. This is quite the year to get into the Cleveland.
I might have
Guardians.
been the curse. That might be on me, fella.
Rob's too big of a Browns fan, bro. Rob's Browns fandom
that's
has
my fault,
bled
guys.
into the Cleveland Guardians
Those
this year.
new
That's
seats
what happened.
are those new seats just soaked in sadness now?
Yeah, I mean,
right now.
I just don't understand like how you get
tears of
new
Shane
seats and you
Bieber
spend money on
fans.
Paul Sewald and Austin Hedges and
You hate
Jacob
Paul
Junis
Sewald.
and Carlos Santana
Jack hates
coming
Paul
off an
Sewald.
ALCS, and you can't just
That's
like
his
fucking
Beyonce
re-sign Josh
Johnson on
Naylor
the
or
guard.
something or Andres Jimenez.
Glass half full.
No.
The Detroit Tigers got worse today.
Yes, they did. That is true.
but see, now-
and the
now-
next Francisco Lindor will be here in like 2 hours.
That's
So
the
wait.
problem. That's our luck. It's starting to bleed because they're acting more and more like the Browns every day. He's gonna go there and he's gonna start pitching his ass off, bro.
It's in him. I mean, he's had 30 saves in his career. It is in him.
Watch, bro. Trust.
Are we gonna bet on the preseason game today? The
Absolutely yes.
over under 32 and a
Absolutely
half.
yes. The people could I say
Over.
the people online, the audacity of these holier than thou people that say you're sick and demented
Can we-
if you bet on
there
preseason
like a
football,
Trey Lance
then
first
send
half
me to
t-shirt?
Marymount because I'm betting on preseason football.
I like
tonight.
Trey Lance number. Like, can we get a Trey Lance rushing total?
I was gonna go ahead.
I'm
I
so
love it.
so fascinated by Trey Lance. I wanted the Browns to sign him.
You did.
I did. Like I was on record saying that before like last season.
This is a fun quarterback matchup.
It is.
Like,
Okay.
Can we get up
Hendon
today?
Hooker
Do
for
we
the
take
Hall?
DJU passing yards in the fourth quarter for the Chargers?
Football?
Yeah, DJU for the Chargers. Do you guys want to bet on him?
I didn't even
I
know he
can't
was
wait.
blocked.
I can't
We're gonna
wait.
put something together.
He's gonna be throwing the ball to
Goodness, bro.
We have to
DJU
slam
's
the
playing-
under, right? It's
Wait, this is
32
a
and a
great.
half.
Yeah, but
Jalen
last two
DJU
Hall of Fame
playing, I
games.
smack under.
Last two Hall of Fame games have gone over
They do go. They shoot out a little. They do
because the defenses are just guys from
and the
Mount
coaches
Union
are gonna
out
try
there.
some stuff. I don't know, but
We gotta take a
is
DJU or
god-awful at
Heineke
football.
touchdown.
Heineke's playing. Too.
Yeah, on the same team. They're both on the
It's
Chargers.
a star-studded Hall of Fame
Give
game.
me
It
the
is.
over. Give me the over. I do like it.
People are saying.
How about a Ronnie Bell receiving touchdown?
Wait, so DJU's taking
Who?
the fourth.
I don't know.
DJU game-winning drive. Is gonna
But
feed
give me the anytime
families, bro.
touchdown options.
On D-
Ooh.
I'll go on
the-
FanDuel here.
all the
Amari
options.
and Hampton.
I'm jealous that they get to watch the Chargers and Detroit fans. Like, I mean, as shitty as the Browns are, like when they were at the Hall of Fame game, and some people aren't big fans of it. It's just whatever. But
We flooded that
to be able
stadium,
to
man.
see,
Yeah.
we got our first look at DTR. I believe we got our first look at like Cedric Tillman. Like it's fun, man. To get just even if you know they're gonna be bad, just to see the new faces and just the fact that football's back just means life is worth. living.
Especially
I
because in
did,
Cleveland, we only have one preseason game this year, so like the fans aren't gonna they'll get that. You know, it's the third and final preseason game will be here in Cleveland, but then
Three-quarters
after that,
support.
you're right into September 7th.
Two thoughts for you guys real quick. First one, looking at Chargers 125 rushing yards here, plus 102 on FanDuel.
Oh, smack
My
that.
thought process.
Smack that.
Trey
He's gonna
Lance and DJU both
rock,
suck.
bro.
Well, Marion Hampton might have
They're
it. In the first
toting
quarter.
the rock.
Yeah.
bro.
And second, I actually snuck into the Hall of Fame game one time.
Thanks for admitting that live
Yeah.
on there. I appreciate that.
Incriminated yourself.
I'm sure they.
I don't think they're putting in jail.
I think statute of limitations.
And here
Yeah.
come the black guys.
Oh man! And
No.
that's been a
Sports
show
is
here
no.
on Berkeley
Rock
Front
Nation.
Airport.
No.
Real quick, huge thanks to the Geauga County.
Speaking of, we do got to tell you guys about that. We're going to take a quick break when we get back. Madden released the rookie ratings. Cam Ward a little too low. Cam's got to go too high. I'll ask what these guys think when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. I'm Ryan Tyler, joined by Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone, Rob Watson. Before we dive into this segment, we got to tell you guys about the 2025 Great Geauga County Fair.
The Great Geauga County Fair, Thursday, August 28th, Monday, September 1st. We are quite literally 1 month away.
Hey, let's come on.
Yeah, how about that?
If you're sad about the MLB trade deadline, if you miss Shane Bieber, there's one thing that you can do to wipe those tears away, especially on a gloomy gray day like we have today here in Cleveland, and that's going to geaugafair.com. That's getting your tickets starting at just $10. Children 6 and under get in for free, and that's locking in your spot to eat that Guardians sadness away with elephant ears, fried food, fries, a fair lemonade at the end of this summer before Browns season will hit different. Get your tickets today, geaugafair.com. The Big Factor crew is going to be out there. Big Play Sports Network is going to be out there. So get your tickets. Come join us. Have a great time. August 28th through Monday, September 1st at the 202nd Great Geauga County Fair.
Well, Madden, I believe, comes out sometime in August. Madden 26, that is. I will not be getting the game. I've dedicated my life to college football 26. I've made that transition. But the game is coming out nonetheless. I'm assuming some of you will buy it. I know Loeb is a Madden truther. But they released their rookie
Got that
rankings.
bundle.
Some of the notable ones, Cam Ward was rated just a 71. Jackson Dart, fellow quarterback, 68. Tyler Shuck with the same rating, actually, as Jackson Dart, which is interesting at 68. Shador Sanders, 67. Dylan Gabriel, 66. We'll start there talking about the rookie quarterbacks. Cam Ward, obviously the highest rated. But interesting when you compare it to the other positional players because guys like Cam Scatabo has a 73. That's 2 points overall, higher than Cam Ward.
Harold Fannin has the same rating as Cam Ward, which is like pretty insane
love that.
considering this
I
is
love
the number one pick in the draft. So obviously guys aren't high on him. I know ratings in Madden work weird, so they could do certain things to manipulate it, like stats that don't really matter. So I might pull up Cam Ward's stats in a second to see like what they rated his accuracies and whatnot, but I looked here. They have Shador Sanders. He has a bigger arm than Dylan Gabriel on here, but they think Dylan Gabriel is the much more accurate quarterback across the board. So interesting stuff. Wonder how they come up with it, but obviously, Madden updates all throughout the year. But Judkins and Sampson look really good on here, too. I'm looking at these stats, bro.
Dude, you can't.
Be nice.
You just can't justify to me that Cam Ward is only a 71 as a rookie. Like, I like looking at like past
Does
previous
anybody
ones. They hang
know-
around like 75
Does
at least.
anybody have any idea, or can somebody with a computer find what Caleb Williams rating
Yeah, I'll
was
look right now.
when he was a rookie?
What it
But
was
also,
last
by the
year.
way-
it was like a 75 or 76. It was higher than 71 for
76.
sure. Yeah.
76. That makes
Tyler
that makes
Shuck being a
sense.
68 is ridiculous.
Same as Jackson Dart.
Way too high. Like, there was a guy I remember playing Madden
But,
franchise a couple years
that's
ago.
The thing, like Tyler, we're probably going to see Tyler Shuck before we see Jackson Dart.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's just off their quarterback room, too. But we had a guy named Kyle Lauletta in our quarterback room who was like a 53 overall in Madden. That's where Tyler Shuck should be.
Cam Ward has good stats, though. He gave him 82 speed, 91 throw power. He's got like all 80s for his accuracy. I don't know. They dropped his awareness or something to make him bad, but he'll be good.
But like, if you're going to put him at a 71 as the first overall pick, how's the number 2 pick overall at 84?
On Madden, on this website, they boosted him to 72.
Is
I don't know
84
why they gave him that 71 card.
is 84 for Travis Hunter
That is glazed.
Is that the highest a rookie
Has to be.
been rated?
That's gotta be up there.
Other ones:
Like,
Ashton Genty's 81, Michael Williams 78, Tet McMillan is 77.
77
Reggie Bush was an
for
87 in Madden 07.
What are so if Cam Scad above 73, Ashton Genty's 81? Does anybody know what a Marion Hamptons is?
He's a 77.
77. Okay.
Got pretty good stats. They've rated the rookies kind of high this year. 84.
Except for the quarterbacks, which is weird.
Just because they said it was a weak class. I mean, those are the people that are making the ratings. They're probably involved with.
So
those
can you
guys.
see all the Browns players' ratings?
I can.
Can you give us some of them?
Graham is the 4th highest rated rookie at 80 overall.
Valid.
Sampson and Judkins were both 74s. Schwessinger's a 75.
Quinshon the same rating as Dylan Sampson.
Yes, Dylan Sampson faster.
Is there like a domestic violence bump you get on your rating?
Probably a drop.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, they probably might have been a higher rating, and then Fandom
Awareness goes down.
and then 67 and 66 for Shador and Dylan Gabriel.
So is that just the rookie ratings? Do they have like?
They got some of the other players. They got like the 99 overall people on here and
Yeah.
stuff. Like there's Aaron Donald. Well, not Aaron Donald, Jamar Chase, people like that. Miles Garrett. Josh Allen also a 99. Lamar, Lane Johnson, Saquon Barkley, and Justin Jefferson.
Respect.
All 99 overall.
I thought it was interesting that they didn't give Pat a 99, which I guess if you're going just based off last season, that's fair. And then I believe the quarterbacks that were 99 were who? Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
I think it's also sticking on video game ratings. Jeremiah Smith not being a 99 overall in college football is the most criminal thing of all
I
time.
don't
I
think
think there
anyone's
isn't
a
any.
99.
I know, but like, is he not the most like 99 overall college football player ever?
I mean, yeah,
He
you're
is.
right.
I respect what they're doing though. They're taking a different approach. You could have a bunch of 99s, but then that means some people who aren't that good are going to get higher ratings on like a sliding scale. But if you say Jeremiah Smith is a 97, but everyone else who's usually like the average player is like a 83, you're going to see that difference between the two players.
That's a good. We've got. Dare I say this? May be a hot take. We've gotten a little liberal with the 99s.
No, I think you're right. I think
Used to
that's
me-
fair. I
used-
just think
used to
JJ's
me-
an
used to
exception.
me.
All
something.
these guys deserve it. Saquon's the cover. Miles Garrett, Lamar, Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen, and Jamar Chase. The
But
only-
99's also like just goated beyond. You can't have that many guys in the league who are that good at once.
It's only 7 players.
That's a lot of
Yeah, like it should be
players.
like 2 maybe or 3.
I
Right, like
guess. You could
Saquon.
make- okay, so you're saying
Saquon
make a
coming
couple
off the
of them.
heels of a 2,000-yard rushing season where they literally had to run him X amount of times to get to the Super Bowl. Like you can't like. Does he deserve to be a 99? Sure, but that's based off last year. Like coming into this year, everybody nationally is expecting a little bit of a natural regression. So like I think he should be somebody that should be like a 98
But they
or
can't-
97.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with being a
They can
98,
update-
you know?
They always update the game. It'll
They
change
do.
throughout. But okay, so
Big EA is trying to get us talking about it, and they're doing a good job of it.
Yeah.
And they're doing a good job of it
They
too.
got you.
Big E.
They always Big EA.
They're taking so much of my money. It's actually quite.
Dude, it's
disgusting.
insane. They gotta
And when I
stop.
sit
Travis
there and
Hunter's
think about it,
stats
it
are
actually makes me
actually
quite.
I'm so dumb. I see a new scoreboard bug, $100.
All right, we're about to wrap up, but before we do, Jack, you had like a famous debate. What makes somebody famous? I believe was the terminology.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Nick, Joey, and I got into a heated one yesterday in the office, and we thought that this might be. We want to get your guys' opinions as well.
Sure.
So we were talking about what makes like famous versus well known. It was kind of like
Sure.
what the conversation
Like,
was.
You can be. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like they're different things in a way. We were
Could be
talking about like
hyper
who.
famous.
Let me ask you
Like
guys this to
hyper-local
start
famous.
off, because Nick, Joey, and I came to a consensus on this that people might be upset about. Who do you guys think is the most famous Cleveland Browns player?
Of all time,
No,
No,
on the
right
current
now.
roster, who is the most famous Browns
Shador
player?
Shador Sanders.
Okay, so yeah, then we're in agreement on that. Then yeah,
Literally
he,
Shador Sanders. yeah.
Famous is you every time you're in public, it's a struggle to just live a normal life.
So-
We have players that are popular and well known. Denzel Ward can go outside and not get mobbed every time.
Here, let me ask you
know
this,
what I mean?
Jack, and this is relating to hyper-local familiarity, famous. What I don't know what
yeah,
I'm looking for. but
familiarity.
like a guy like Luke Floria, who has burst onto the scene, has become a hometown favorite, but you would never consider him famous.
We were saying
he
they
could,
are
wa- he
not
could walk.
famous.
He could walk
I could
around
walk
Geneva
right
on the
by,
lake
bro.
unscathed.
Right.
Could walk
Yeah.
right by, bro.
Yeah.
Miles Garrett's up there, but
I'm
like,
saying
you know,
I think
still
it's it's Shador and like probably Miles, and that's it on the Browns
We
roster.
were
for
also
famous
saying
people.
too, there's an element of it where it has to translate. So like we were, going through the athletes, especially, it has to translate where like you could walk into Give me a random Browns player. Okay,
People
Denzel
saying
Ward.
Flacco is famous. You guys, I don't think he's famous. I think he's popular.
Denzel's
Joe
like
Flacco's
well-known.
famous.
But say if Joe Flacco was to walk into
I
a
don't think he's
supermarket
won a
in
Super
Georgia,
Bowl.
would people know? Would people mob him?
No, like he's
Couple
popular.
people who know ball in there.
But
on
famous
the
is like
off
Taylor
chance
Swift.
Might take a picture. And
Yeah,
then
he might get a
people will be
picture or
like,
two.
oh,
He's not going to
right.
flooded every building in the country.
That's the thing. Like, yes, because it's like Nick kind of said. You transcend your sport almost. If we're talking specifically about athletes, like Travis Kelce was famous. Once he started dating Taylor Swift, that's when you become. Like,
that's exactly what the avenue we went down, because he had 2 million followers on Instagram
Yeah.
pre-Taylor Swift, which is like right around what Shadur Sanders is right now.
Yeah.
And then he went up to 6 million. We also had this debate within that same category, guys. If Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce had let's say a messy ending, not saying anything like bad happens,
Oh god, it's
He's
another
gonna
album.
become
where do
one
their
of the most
follower
hated.
counts go?
He's gonna become one of the more hated people. On
No,
the
I'm not
planet
saying
right
that. I'm
this
saying
second.
how many followers would he lose?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Like,
What did you just
We
say?
were thinking 1 million.
How much is he
Yeah.
at?
He's
And
at
He's
6.
He had two,
Yeah.
went up to 6. Where would he go? Where would he be
I
at?
I
don't
can
know.
see him
That's
losing.
dropping to like 2 or 3 again.
Yeah.
You think it goes?
There's
so
a
you
lot
think
of Swifties
I'd
in
say-
the
off a
world.
relationship ending, 4
You gotta realize you're not
fucking
just-
million
you're not-
people
you
would
just said it
unfollow
was
him.
messy, though,
I don't
like
know
he
if that
cheated or
many
something.
would
They're gonna try to-
unfollow, but you gotta realize, like, we're not talking about same people. We're talking about parasocially
That's what
centered
we were
people.
That is true.
Fans
Too. They
are
are
also
nuts.
saying it was a
Yeah.
bad ending. Say he cheated on her. People are gonna be in an uproar, bro. Like this is gonna be. People
Let's say it
denouncing
wasn't a cheating, but just like let's say it's a mutual parting ways.
Still
then.
gonna lose probably.
How
like
many followers?
1 to
Still.
2 million followers.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous. Off a
Easily.
relationship ending, that many
Jack,
people.
there are people that track and
You're
post
being
pictures
oblivious
about
right
what
now,
Ch-
bro.
what
You're
what
being
Taylor Swift
oblivious
eats
on
for
it.
lunch.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
people
ridiculous.
are
Crazy.
like
You're
do
being
you have
more
anything else to
oblivious.
do?
It's a mental illness.
Because he would
It's
probably.
a mental
He
illness.
might have
Read
to
a book.
private his
Like,
page.
no,
How many
I'm-
followers
do
does
drugs.
she have?
I'm not messing around. Like
Probably
that's
like a couple 100 million.
that's like categorized as a mental illness.
Yeah,
When
no,
you're
yes.
parasocially that involved
Like,
in
it could
somebody's
be
life
the
who doesn't
most-
even know your name.
Graceful ending ever. All her like however many millions of fans you have are gonna go leave hate on his page.
What's
when he
that?
does.
Karma
Say-
will no longer be the guy on the Chiefs.
What's that say about us as a society? Wait, could we?
Not much.
Could we?
We are
Could we
mentally
zoom
ill.
out for like one moment here? That like 1 million, 2 million, regardless of the number, like when you're in the millions, that's a ton of people would take time out
Over
of their
10,000 is
day
nuts.
to unfollow on social media an individual that they don't know and will never meet because of a celebrity relationship. Like not just a couple people would unfollow, but we're talking about
Millions.
millions
It's not
of
just
people.
The millions.
unfollow. I'm telling you, there's people that
I
are
feel
gonna-
like the
they're gonna
president.
call-
Look at millions
They're
and
gonna
millions.
They're gonna
He will
wish
get
death
death
on
threats.
him.
He
They're
will
gonna
get death
find
threats.
his mother's number. They're gonna
Yeah.
be called. Like it's gonna go way further than that,
Yeah.
bro. And that's because people live through other people they want to be.
People are-
Vicariously.
Idolization in
Vicariously is the word, I
America
believe.
It's nasty, and the stan culture and everything. We're not a type show that's gonna get into that, bro. But it's gonna be nasty if that ever happens.
Yeah.
Nasty work. All right, guys, we are out of time. Appreciate everybody tuning in here to the Big
Leo
Factor.
DeVries.
I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Nick Pannone. He's Rob Watson. Shout out to Garage Beer. Shout out to Fairway Ford. Shout out to the great 2025 Johnson County Fair. Go get your tickets now. It's going to come up sooner than you think, guys. Football is back. We lost Shane Bieber. Right now, we still have Quan. as
I'll
we're
see you
speaking.
tomorrow.
Not for long.
Hopefully, we
Gone.
come tomorrow and Stephen Quan is still a Guardian. And
You
we
will
can
be
have
on the
peace.
first
But
plane
enjoy
to
football
LAX.
tonight, guys. We have finally made it. It has been a long off season. Regardless of how the Brown season goes, I want to say this is football's officially back, guys. Just be thankful.
If we had to make a final vote on the show today, right now at 11 o'clock,
think
are
he
the
stays.
Guardians done?
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I want them to get this Leo DeVries kid. I hyped him up all show long. He's going to get traded to the A's in like a Mason Miller package or something before it even happens, or they go and get Jaron Durant. And like we're not going to get him. And then we're going to trade for Salas, who's been out since April. And like I'm going to be excited, but no one else is. And he's 18 years old. He's a catcher. Everyone, Twitter, it's going to be a shitstorm. Watch for it.
All right, I'm gonna say they're not done as well.
Quan is gone. LAX, get ready to learn Stephen Quan.
Done
buddy.
as in terms of like Quan, or they might still make another move, but I think Quan stays.
Okay.
I think Quan
If
stays.
Jacob Junis is on the roster at 6:01 p.m. tonight, I will not be here tomorrow.
All right, we're out of time. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We will be back tomorrow, same people, same time. Until then, enjoy football. Peace out.